Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Silver Tears Tarot, and welcome to our moon reading. So, this one is going to be a special reading. So, it's a reading for our new moon in Capricorn for sure. That's kind of what this one's about, but it's also going to be a look into the energy that's coming your direction, the soulmates that are coming your direction. If you caught yesterday's extended, we already kind of have a ramp up into this reading. So, let's go ahead and jump in. This is going to be a general reading for this collective, so it's not going to be something that necessarily resonates with everybody, but if it does resonate with you, then feel free to subscribe and maybe think about looking at some of the other videos that have come out from the channel, because all of them are connected, so they could have other information in there that might be useful for you. I think we'll do it this way. So we're going to start out by looking at the energy around this new moon. So this is, just to kind of talk about this moon a little bit. This is a new moon in Capricorn, first new moon of the year. Here we've got, it's interesting because what I was just about to say is it's reaching directly into your life. And so that's an interesting phrase, but it doesn't mean, I don't know exactly what it means until I see this come out. So it's reaching into your life, but this is like actual change that happens to your way of life. And it's like it's inviting you to make that change to your way of life, which makes sense because this is a moon of kind of pushing you to start something new, get out of your comfort zone. But it's about creation. There's a creation sort of change happening in your life with that. We also have the Two of Pentacles, going to feel a little bit uncomfortable possibly with this change. And then we have the Freedom card. So this is, freedom is a wonderful thing, but it doesn't always feel super comfortable at first. Sometimes it's like, things are a little bit too loose and you have to wait for things to tighten up a little bit and to feel comfortable, or for you to get comfortable with it again. And that's kind of what I'm getting here with the Freedom card. It's got a little bit of that sense of uncertainty, instability in there with it as well. And I see that with the Two of Pentacles. With the Two of Pentacles, it's kind of a difficulty juggling things and trying to make sure that everything fits where it's supposed to fit. But ultimately, it results in change. So there's going to be some change, and it's not necessarily comfortable change, but it is also not necessarily unpleasant change. It's like being kind of a little bit uncomfortable about the energy, or about the attention that you get, and in some area that's almost kind of like it. It's not uncomfortable in a I really can't stand this is an awful way to live sort of way. Here's the thing though, I think you're going to be receiving a little bit of a test. Little bit of a test finds you up in your head a little bit in this time frame. So it's easy to get into your thoughts and kind of swirling around in your thoughts and worrying about things that haven't happened yet, and to spend a lot of time just kind of in that place of consternation. And I would just say with this energy, it has the potential to actually distract you from something that could be actually pretty cool. So with the Ten of Cups in the reverse here, what I'm seeing is missing something that is an opportunity. Missing something that it's going to seem like it's too good to be true if you don't miss it. So this is a warning. So if you see that, if you start to see an opportunity and realize this might be that opportunity, and if it looks like, no, can't be it, that's too good to be true, just realize that might actually be it. There's a sense of it being kind of a test of that Ten of Cups lesson. So the Ten of Cups lesson, I dropped a couple of cards there. The Ten of Cups lesson is about, it's about understanding what to do when you see something that seems like it might be too good to be true. And knowing what to do sometimes just means not making any sudden movements and getting a little closer to figure out what it is before you make a rash decision. You and your person are both learning this lesson where, when they originally came across you, which seemed like a little too good to be true, they kind of ran. They kind of made a rash decision, and that rash decision was around running. Your decision might not have been quite so rash, but might have been different from the type of decision that you'd make in the future. So you might have simply gravitated toward them without thinking too much about the consequences of what if this doesn't work out, where in the future you may look at it and say, let's just learn a little bit more about it. You know, it's not necessarily that you wouldn't allow yourself to be vulnerable. And in this space, you actually have a lot of really great manifestation energy. So I like the way that this turns out, because this is manifestation energy that feels quiet and feels confident. It doesn't feel like it's what you worry about under this energy is that it would feel like it's too much to handle or kind of too much energy coursing through you. I'm not getting that sense. I'm getting the sense that it kind of it ends up feeling reasonable. This is why. So you're learning some things. You're learning some things. You're getting some control over that masculine energy. It keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. And so with this Hanged Man, this is actually being able to put some of that into play. Some of what you guys are learning. This is both you and your person. So remember, there's been a lot of change here recently that has involved both of you looking like you're finding a little more balance in that masculine energy, which is something that needed to happen. So it's about deserving or feeling deserving of your position, feeling like you've worked for what you have, moving past some of that imposter syndrome, maybe. It's not worrying so much about whether or not you deserve it. With this Ten of Wands, one of the things that you will continue to be able to work on, and we'll get into your areas of focus here in a moment, but this one's already coming up. With the Ten of Wands, this is that same message that you will see about not don't just blow through all the crossroads and just grab everything and say, I assume I'll handle this later. Like, you actually need to look at it and determine if it is yours to handle later. And so that's what this Ten of Wands is all about. Because this Ten of Wands in the reverse says that if you're going to grab everything and just kind of hold on to it and toss it over your shoulder, it becomes too heavy of a weight, too heavy of a load for you to carry. And it's more difficult to kind of have to sift through everything to work things out. Which you're going to want your energy and your faculties, I feel like, for the opportunities that are coming your way. So you wouldn't want to overload yourself with a bunch of things that are not necessarily your responsibility anymore, or in some cases, maybe they never were, and they were just things that mattered to you. Okay, so we've got the Three of Swords in the reverse that has come out for you here, but in the reverse, it's got a very special meaning, and it's great because I feel like this is happening in the energy around you. I feel like it's also kind of happening in the energy just in general and at large. So we're looking at in this reading who is coming your direction. You know, it's a soulmate reading. What is in that soulmate energy? And so this is in that soulmate energy. This is part of that energetic backdrop. And the cool thing about this is it's remembering something that has hurt you, okay? So that doesn't feel like it's cool, but I can explain. So it's remembering something that has hurt you, remembering the lessons that have come from it, and being able to say that you can take the lessons without having to go through all of that pain all over again. You're no longer bound by all that pain, and you start to see a distance. You start to see a distance between yourself and that pain, which I really like the look of. Okay, so Three of Wands. There is really nice energy here of something kind of being ready to go, and like standing there on the precipice waiting for something to happen. So a lot of times the Three of Wands, you get that waiting for the ship to come in sort of sense to it. And here she is looking out at the water. It does have that sense, that feeling of something already having been set into motion, so that at this point it's really just a matter of waiting for it to happen, waiting for it to come home to roost. Good sense of that. But I mean that in a really positive way. This is investment. It's like Seven of Pentacles sort of investment that one or both of you has already made. But I feel like that investment has been in yourself, which may be even more useful or more valuable because of the benefit that it's going to have overall. Because you have at least one soulmate coming. We've seen that coming in a couple of the recent readings, and it keeps showing up to where I realized a few readings ago, whenever it was, that when we got to the new moon, I didn't know why I wanted to do it at this point, but I just felt like at the new moon reading, we need to look into the soulmates. And so that's what we are doing. And then if you guys got into the readings yesterday and the extended, we had energy was just getting frantic. Okay. And so really I had all these questions that I could potentially go into, and had already been thinking about doing the what is this frantic energy reading. And so I decided to do that. And then as we went into the extended, it got really intense, and we started to see energy that honestly kind of surprised me a little bit. So I kind of went into this question with, okay, what are we looking at? Oh my goodness. It was, I wasn't expecting the intensity of your person is turning around and heading back in your direction, or moving closer to you energetically, or just something like that, that just kind of, we just got done having a Mercury retrograde, and that's where I usually see that. So I felt like it was extra heavy yesterday. So you may have multiple soulmates coming your way. But here we're just looking a little bit more into what is happening with these soulmates that are coming your way. Who's coming? Is it multiple people? Let's see what fell on the floor here. Oh, I got one in all the way over here. Okay, so unbelievably, a whole bunch of little tiny piles of cards that fell out, but none of them fell face up and wanted to be used in the reading. We've got the Mystic in the reverse, the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, the Six of Wands in the upright. So somebody's feeling like it's not going their way, and they're really looking for an answer that they feel like on some level they've been looking for it for. So this is the person that's looking for you or coming your direction. This is a person, because you may have more than one, but this is the energy that they're coming with. There's a little bit of frustration in their energy as they're heading your direction. They're feeling like they're not as connected as they'd like to be to themselves, to their higher power. And honestly, it's true. They're not. They're feeling a little bit fuzzy in the head. There may be some sort of emotional preparation this person has been doing, but they're also working against something. So it's like somebody who is trying to get clear headed and to stop drinking or something. I mean, just using an example. And at the same time, they're being very much drawn toward it, or there's something that is kind of a trigger for their drinking that has become very prominent in their life. So they're dealing with something that is not necessarily, they don't feel like it's working in their favor. And I wouldn't say that's necessarily true, because it might just be more the form of a lesson, but it's got that frustration element to it. With the Six of Wands, though, there's something deep down that makes them realize like that's an optimism that I'm not convinced they can really see, but it's there, and it's what allows them to attract you. So this is like a co-manifestation. And remember that we saw this soulmate or soulmates that are coming in, seems like it's wrapped around or it's got like a hobby or something new wrapped around it. So look for the opportunity to come in that may not look anything like it's specifically associated with soulmates, but may actually be just something that has other people involved, that's the way that it works out. However, realize this person does not necessarily see you coming, so you're probably going to have better opportunity to see them as they really are before they realize they want to get this right, before they realize that they need to be careful how they are perceived with you, because at first I think they aren't going to quite pick up on that. So we have the Eight of Wands. There it is. They aren't going to pick up on it right away. This is the Eight of Wands talking about energy not moving very quickly. So this is not a sudden rush that happens for you. In fact, it might be a little bit of a moment of commiseration. So I mentioned, that this is somebody who may not exactly be watching for you. They may not be thinking about it, and they may not realize until they get farther into that conversation, oh my goodness, this is a deeper relationship. It's not necessarily going to be like that lightning bolt out of the sky, but it's something that once they realize what they're dealing with you, the warmth grows very quickly. The warmth grows quickly, but things don't necessarily move quickly. And somewhere in here, I get the sense that you also should not move quickly. There is like a trip that you okay, so there's a couple different ways this energy is coming in. So this is a trip that you either shouldn't take because it's too soon, or it's a trip that you try to take but it doesn't work out for some reason, like something happens, car breaks down, something like that. And there is also, oh, no, that doesn't come through here, but there's also a sense that there's an emotional distance that needs to be crossed for the two of you as you move into this soulmate situation. So you do not automatically like get way too close to one another and start sabotaging yourselves in that way. That is not something that happens with this situation. It does look like it moves relatively slowly. With the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, it looks like sometimes it's even moving backwards. So this is, but you won't be concerned about it because you aren't going to be looking at it with the same kind of, expecting the same kind of metrics, time-wise that you would be with the soulmate that you have been working with. And that person is probably heading back your direction. So you already have difficult decisions that you're looking to make. Here's the Eight of Cups again. As we're talking about something returning to your life, you've got something coming back. And the thing is, the soulmate that's wrapped around this situation, I don't get the sense that this is somebody that you necessarily knew. But it could be somebody that like you went to high school with and it's been a few years and you haven't seen them in a long time, and it's almost as if they're new, but I don't know that that's what this Eight of Cups is really getting at. This looks like a cycle repeating itself. So that could be that could be a soulmate that's coming back, that is coming back once again and representing a part of a cycle, or it could actually be a cycle that is repeating in your life and you get to see it play out. With the Page of Pentacles, you've got a shot at a lesson that you have maybe already started to learn or already made some headway, but haven't really got all the way there yet. That one's an interesting, that's probably the most uncomfortable piece out of all of this, because you're going to feel this sort of raw discomfort because you've opened yourself up to being able to feel emotions a little bit more deeply and a little bit more honestly. And so get prepared that you may end up overwhelming yourself a little bit around a lesson that still needs to be learned. With the King of Swords, this is what happens with that overwhelm. Basically, with the overwhelm, it makes it difficult for you to get into like the big picture sort of thinking. It makes it difficult for you to take that step back, look at the big picture, think about what it is that you need to do. It does kind of set you, I mean, we see up here that it sets you off balance in this energy, in the moon energy, but this is like somebody that is, opportunity is coming your way in the relatively near future, because I felt like I needed to do the soulmate reading around the new moon, because it's got the energy of the new moon. It's this new moon in Capricorn has a feeling of, like I was saying before, getting out of your comfort zone, and a feeling of kind of feeling like you're being pushed to do something new. So it's not necessarily you're about to meet this person during the energy of this new moon or on the day of this new moon. However, the opportunity that leads you two together does occur in the near future, or it begins, or it pops up again. There is even though there's not like a lightning bolt out of the sky, like I said, that warmth spreads relatively quickly. And this is a sense of that. That's a comfort that the two of you are going to feel because of that soulmate bond. But this one doesn't feel threatening to you. This one feels really pleasant, and it allows for you to make significant changes and get fairly vulnerable in your life. With this person, like you're going to know that you're having of something, that you're going to know that you're having an experience that you will remember for a long time to come. That's another thing. Yeah, like when you meet them, you're going to know that you're having an experience that's going to be important for a long time to come. And with the Hierophant, there's going to be a feeling in there that you're doing the right thing. It's like the star. This Hierophant feels almost like the star in that it feels like you're moving toward something that you should be moving toward. It is a very healthy, appropriate sort of movement in a direction of where you need to go. Very solid emotion in this. So this we'll look a little bit more deeply into it when we get into the extended, but this is the energy of definitely something is returning. Could be that soulmate that you've been working on that has potentially a lot of you have talked about that energy kind of flowing away because they ebb and they flow, and right now they're ebbing away. They've been ebbing away after being a little bit flowed towards you maybe during the holiday season, and so you kind of see the wave sort of retreating, but there's this sense of them coming back in this direction with this new moon energy. And also a sense of there being an extra, as you run into the opportunity that's coming in here. We're going to look a little bit more at that opportunity, but also a little bit more at the nature of like this soulmate. So we see kind of the circumstances around which this soulmate comes in, and the fact that there's a cycle that is repeating, and the fact that things are not necessarily moving quickly. I think that works in your favor. So let's get some advice for you in this new moon phase. Um, what to do and how to look at it. So you got the Five of Wands. Be prepared to juggle a great many things. And with the Two of Pentacles over here, you can be prepared for that not to be a simple thing. You have the Spirit of Pentacles. This is why I don't think I even bat an eye as I'm like, oh yeah, I can here go juggle a bunch of things. Like, you're prepared. You're ready to do that. That Spirit of Pentacles says you have earned this place. You're ready for this. It's got a very Emperor sort of energy around it. So if the Emperor is all four kings put together, this Spirit of Pentacles, it's got that King of Pentacles energy. And I feel like it's very solid in the direction of having everything, feeling like everything's pretty organized, feeling like what is supposed to be happening is exactly what's happening. You also have that Two of Wands, and you have it in the upright. This is beautiful because, okay, so you remember how we had this Two of Wands in the reverse over here, and there was the piece about needing to maybe not take a trip because it's too soon. This is a very victorious version of that trip. This is hold off on something that feels like it's too soon and wait until it's the right time. And this is that victorious feeling of doing it at the right time. So not usually what I get from a Two of Wands, but it's pretty clear. There's going to be a right time for something, and it will yield some fairly significant benefits because you did wait. So you've got the Two of Swords. There's that difficult decision that we keep hearing about coming out again. Six of Swords, you're going to be in a good position to make that decision. So the Six of Swords is a good one when you're not really sure. When you're not really sure about something and you have that reflective Six of Swords energy, that's almost like the Hermit. It's almost like the opportunity to get in there and really think things through, find the wisdom that you need to find. You've got the Judgment card here in the reverse. It is the sense of something needing to go back to an earlier part of the process, and I'm wondering if it's relevant to this cycle here. Kind of feels like maybe it might be. But it's like you're coming to the end of a cycle, and you've been coming to the end of some cycles here lately. We see that World card come out for you, and a lot of times that's what it is. It's completion of something. You're coming toward the completion of something, but this is you saying, no, I can't let this pass. This isn't quite done yet. Yeah, there's something that still needs to change, and you're on it. Something that you need to get in, and ultimately you are the person, the impetus for whatever is going to shift here. And you are going to get in and actually start to make a decision and pick part of the problem that you may be experiencing as you're trying to work through this decision is there are so many pros and cons on both sides. But once you get to a place where you start to make a change and get right with a decision, all of those pros and cons start to change shape a little bit. So some of these cons that look like they might have been big showstoppers start to all of a sudden be things you can get past. And that's kind of a really nice thing. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure you're in the right place, and look to make sure that it's not something that you are going to regret. That's the important thing. You've got the Empress card in the reverse, so there's something you're not giving to yourself, and that's part of the focus area for you on this. And it's part of what this soulmate is here to show you. This person, I feel like they are a romantic, or they have the potential to be a romantic soulmate, but they are not necessarily going to be long term, because remember, this is somebody that's going to teach you there. You're going to be able to deal with this new soulmate because of the experiences that you've had with the other one that you've been getting these readings about. But this person arms you to find reconciliation and have options about union with your person that you've been getting these readings about, that you have like that twin flame like connection with. This is going to help to enable that, but realize you may be dealing with both of these people at the same time. So be aware that could be a little bit challenging. Make sure that you're taking good care of yourself in this. That's something that kind of just keeps wanting to come out for me here. When we get into the Page of Swords, there is an energy of joy and beauty in you that just kind of needs to be released at some point. You'll know when the time comes. It's going to rise up in you, and you need to let it out. It might not seem like the opportune time or the appropriate time, but I can assure you that there's something here that follow your gut. It's okay to seem like you are riding a wave. It's okay to seem like you're doing something really well and almost doing it effortlessly. You have some choices to make. So, we talked about difficult choices, but with the Seven of Cups up here, you have options that get laid out before you, and it's like not super obvious which way to go, because there are a lot of things that are hidden, a lot of things that are a little bit nebulous around these choices, and sometimes you have to figure out how you're going to begin with the end in mind when you got a lot of unknowns in the situation. Then here with the Six of Cups, you're using information from the past to help make these choices and to help you navigate these options. That ends up being absolutely your best bet. Oh, and with that, I think I'm done pulling cards for this portion of the reading. We're going to go on over to the extended. If you if you're interested, I think what we really need to look into, like I was saying, is a little bit more about just kind of what is the nature of this new soulmate, kind of what is the circumstance, what is it that we need to know about the opportunity. We've got a little bit of information about that, but I think this is a continuation of some of what we've seen before. So the picture's sort of coming together for us. So we'll get a little bit deeper into it and understand more when we get into that extended. So thanks for being here with me. I look forward to seeing you in that extended. If you want to go there with me, the link is down below. Otherwise, I will see you again in tomorrow's reading.